Turn on.
Maybe that'd be okay, but it could be just,
But that's okay, it works.
could be included, it just could be.
Figure out my password.
Not yet.
Hey, I don't think I heard back from Captain Penny or Eno.
Ever?
Yeah, I don't think so. I gotta go, I'm still checking emails, but.
If they didn't reply all, because I didn't copy them.
Right. So, I don't know if this guy's gonna
told me
show
you were
up.
looking for them because I just saw both of them.
Well, tell them I am looking for them because we got this, neighborhood meeting over at the Paloma Ranch on, what is it, Pete? The 13th? Yeah, June the 3rd and June the 13th. I think it'd be nice for Dead County to show up, Dead County SO.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Then county doesn't care about it. Or us.
Actually, one of them, not those two, but somebody over there said, wait, your Fairview's in Denton County?
Oh my God, really?
I was like, yeah, part of it is. Jeez.
Did you see that your Denton County Commissioner has not been finalized yet? You know how they had that runoff?
Yep.
Well, the guy, what's his name? I can't.
Wiley.
Wiley. I was having, I never blocked with his name. Beat Roars by 33 votes.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of mail-in ballots and provisional ballots that had not been counted. So apparently Roars is not conceding, and she wants to wait till those ballots get counted to determine if she lost or won.
That would be very good.
So, and I don't know how long it's going to take Denton County to go through those ballots, but it's yet to be decided who's going to be the Republican nominee for the county commissioner.
I had a commissioner there today too.
Well, I have 6:30, so we'll call this meeting for Monday, June the 1st, 2026, for the city of New Fairview to order. Roll call.
Ricky Jones.
Because awesome.
Stephen King.
John Taylor.
Lisa Shep.
We have
We have a quorum, yes, sir? And we're starting with regular session, correct?
Yes. We're going to start with the regular session and then jump all the way to executive session and then come back.
Is she on?
Yes, she is on.
Let her know that we'll call her when we get, you're probably going to call her because my phone's dead.
Oh, okay.
So, join me for invocation and our pledge to our flags. Dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that we were able to come here as a council this evening, and ask that we'll continue to watch over the ones traveling and as we travel home, and that we'll be able to put the efforts of the council to the things that the citizens of our city desire, and that we'll be able to make good decisions for them. And we ask this in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
So we're going to go straight into executive session.
I don't know if I should look at your shirt or the flag.
You can do either one. So we're going to recess the executive session to discuss matters relating to real property pursuant to 551.072 Texas Government Code, liberation of economic development, negotiation pursuant to 551.087 Texas Government Code, discuss personal matters pursuant to 551.074 Texas Government Code, discuss IT network or critical infrastructure security pursuant to 551.089 Texas Government Code, and to consult with the city attorney pursuant to 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Council may go into closed session anytime when permitted by Chapter 551 Texas Government Code or Chapter 413 Texas Tax Code. Before going in the closed session, a quorum of the council must be present. The meeting must be convened as an open meeting pursuant to proper notice. The presiding officer must announce that a closed session will be held and must identify the sections of Chapter 551 or 418 Texas Government Code authorizing the closed section. We'll be going for A and G. Deliberation regarding real property 551.072, deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property in deliberation to opening meeting would have a determination of fact on the position of the government body in negotiation with a third party, and it's the Triangle property 407 South Hamlin Road. G, consultation with the attorney 551.071 to conduct a private consultation with its attorney related to pending or complicated legislation, a settlement offer and or matter in which there exists a duty of the city attorney of the government body under the disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas that conflicts with Texas Government Code 551, real estate acquisitions. And with that, at 6:34, we'll go to executive session.
John's phone trouble.
Pete, do you remember what time the cookout starts in Paloma Ranch?
No, but I can look and tell you.
I have that info on my phone, but I'm going through identity crisis. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to reach the phone number.
3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock? Okay.
So at 6:55, we are back from executive session, and at this time we'll take no action.
Thank you, Mayor.
So we want to stay in.
We can stay in open session, yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, regular business, yes, sir.
So we'll jump to announcements and special recognitions.
We do not have any tonight, sir.
City Administrator's report.
Yes, so I want to remind the council, we have our strategic planning retreat on Saturday, June the 13th at Texas Motor Speedway. Hopefully everybody has the address. I know Pete Kozlowski has already told me he's unfortunately not going to be able to attend, but as far as I know, the rest of you will be able to be there, correct? We're going to start at 9 a.m. We'll have breakfast items for you. And we will be done by 1 o'clock because some of us, the mayor and I specifically, are going to leave from there and go to Paloma Ranch because Paloma Ranch is going to be having their neighborhood block party. And I'm sure they have all kinds of questions regarding phase 3 and phase 4 and who knows what else. So we're going to be there to answer any questions. So, yes ma'am, it's Saturday.
It starts at 1 o'clock.
The Paloma deal? Okay, so it starts at 1 o'clock and it goes until 4? Okay, so we'll be able to catch the last couple of hours in there. We are working on 3-ring binders that I'll be getting into your hands in the next few days. We have not just the strategic plan, but I've made copies of strategic plans that other cities have and some other background information that I'd like for you to, if you can, take time, look at it, because we only have 4 hours, we're going to have to really rush in covering a lot of topics. We're at a point right now in our history where, because of the growth that we're experiencing, we need to start laying some plans down, so I'm going to need some direction from council as it relates to what do we want to do about law enforcement over the next few years? What do we want to do about fire over the next few years? We're about to start wastewater operations, so we have to discuss that as well. We also have some facilities discussions we need to talk about because there's a good chance that the county may want to build an EMS station on our municipal complex. And I need to understand from the council what your desires are as far as where that would be, where you would allow that to be located, based on some of our future needs on how we need to lay out our municipal complex. So we've got some discussions that we're going to need to have so that we can include that in the strategic plan moving forward. So basically I'm going to take your input, I'll go ahead and draft up a revised or updated strategic plan, send it back to you so you can review it, send me final changes, and then I'll bring it to the council to go ahead and adopt what our new strategic plan is that hopefully will encompass all of what I just mentioned, okay? And again, we have to do that in only 4 hours, so it would be nice if you all already came prepared to start talking about what are some of the strategic priorities that you would like for us to include in that document. Questions on any of that?
And that's here, right?
No, ma'am, that's going to be at the Texas Motor Speedway. What level was that, do you remember?
It's like the third.
Third floor, fourth floor?
You walk in the front door, so they'll have someone there to direct you.
Yeah.
It's the pit road. It's pit road is what it's called. I remember putting it on the agenda.
Right, but I thought it was at third floor or something like
I'm
that.
fixing to look at
We'll
it.
get the information back out to you yet again.
I would have liked to attend because I think it was important for all of us to be there, but I had to work that day. I responded when you guys sent out recommending the date that I wasn't going to be able to make it then. I really wish we would have been able to find a day where all of us could have been there, but I tried to get out there, but I couldn't find anyone to work.
I have the location. It's the 7th floor of the Speedway Club Pit Road Meeting Room.
So we'll send that back out. So, and yes, I've offered to meet with Pete and get his comments so that we can share, you'll be able to have his comments as it relates to what his thoughts are for the strategic plan. So again, this is an important document for you all because this is basically setting what the goals and objectives are on how we're going to continue to grow and evolve and focus on certain areas. Because what I do is I take that document, and if you remember, I align our budget to try and figure out what we can put in our budget to help us reach the goals and objectives that you give. And we clearly stated in the budget under the manager's message, what are the items in the budget that address maybe goal 1, objective 2, or goal 2, objective 3, or whatever the case might be. Because this way you are very clearly showing the public, or citizens for sure, what you are prioritizing and how you are funding things to try and accomplish those goals and objectives, right? So that's why this is a very important document for the council to be able to communicate to everybody else what you think our priorities need to be, particularly with the way we're at the fast-paced rate that we're growing. We're going to look very different 3 years from now than we do today. And we really need to have some plans in place or we're going to get run over. But right now we are, I think, on very good ground because we've been bringing things to you and the council's been understanding why this stuff is needed to be able to manage the growth that's on top of us. Okay?
I don't know the legalities and I don't know what Pete does when he's at work. Could we do like a Zoom call so he could call in if he's not busy?
That's a good idea.
I believe we can. Are you able to participate in a Zoom call?
As long as I'm not on a call, yes.
Right. Okay. Let me ask, because we're not voting on anything. There's nothing to be voted on. It's just discussion. So I don't believe that we would be violating the State Open Meetings Act. Let me double check with the city attorney. But if that's the case, will you do me a favor? We need to reach out to the Speedway to make sure they have
Appreciate that.
internet.
That was actually kind of
And if that's the case, Joshua, can we still hold on the projector and I can connect to my laptop and it's projector? Okay.
I tried to get it off.
We might be able to set that up. Let's talk about it
I
tomorrow.
didn't even think of that.
Okay.
But that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. I didn't think about it. Let us look at that, Pete, and I'll get back to you, okay? Because we need to make sure we're going to be able to set that up in the room over there, and that they have Wi-Fi, and we should be good to
I'm
go.
sure that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
You would
Wi-Fi.
think- You would think so.
Yeah, Zoom, Teams, something.
Absolutely. And we're also going to have, by the way, our city engineer is going to be there because I want him to be part of the water wastewater discussion we're going to have. And our finance director, who, Tan, is going to be, is she on already?
Yes, she is.
Okay. So you're going to hear from Tan here in a little bit when we get to the budget workshop discussion later on in this meeting. She's also going to be there to, again, remind us every time we talk about a goal or objective, if there's some sort of financial impact that we need to be cognizant of, okay? All right. That's all I have, man.
Public comment?
We have none.
Consent agenda. All matters as consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. And item can be removed from the consent agenda by the city administrator, mayor, or any member of city council and will be considered after approval of the consent agenda. We just have one item, the approval of the city council minutes from May 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's unanimous. All right, that will be the new business. Swearing in of council member statement of officers and issuance of certificates of election.
That would be you, ma'am.
The whole reason I took off all my.
Come up here so we can come and swear at you.
How do I get on that side?
Yes.
I'm standing right.
Oh, yeah. What's it gonna do behind me? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Lisa Sheps,
I, Elisa Sheps,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of City Council Place 5
of the office of City Council Place 5
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Perfect. So the next one will be the statement of officer. Repeat after me. I, Lisa Sheps,
I, Elisa Sheps,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, promised to pay,
offered or promised to pay,
contributed or promised to contribute
contributed or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office or employment
or promised any public office or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote
for the giving or withholding of a vote
at the election at which I was elected,
at the election at which I was elected,
or as a reward to secure my appointment,
or as a reward to secure my appointment,
or confirmation, whichever the case may be.
or confirmation, whichever the case may be.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So you now have been placed with title of position to which you're elected, which is City Council Place 5. If you will sign these both.
You got a big hand from the crowd too.
I appreciate it.
You're gonna
We're doubling the pay for council members.
And then here is your certificate
Triple.
for your City Council Place 5.
Thank you so much.
I'm assuming he wants a picture.
Come on, you gotta get next.
Oh, do you want me to be next?
Yes.
Since this is recorded, just to be clear, triple.
He's like, you're stuck with me.
Now we'll move to B, discuss, consider, and act on an appointment for the mayor pro tem. So we started that last meeting and we'll continue at this meeting. Do we need to start over completely?
Yes, sir, because there was no action taken, so
Yes. So
you got to open it up for
we'll open
nomination.
up for, motion, thank you, for mayor pro tem. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, for Councilman Kozlowski, for Mayor Pro Tem.
So we have a motion for B. Do we have a second?
I'll say a second. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a motion and a second,
We have
Mayor.
a motion and a second.
You can have discussion.
Discussion, do we have any other?
So I don't know, again, the legality, to kind of catch you up from last time was, he's still interested.
Well, John called me and kind of gave me a heads up.
Okay, so that's where we are, is, as much as I appreciate Pete and all that he does, and this is no way turning it
I'm
at,
not offended. I mean, it is what it is.
I feel like he's done a really good job, and he's still interested, I think that he deserves to continue.
I do have to say that I like the way the council is now because we have a lot of different types of people on this council that live on different sides of the city, and I like to keep it that way. But a part of me wonders if there's, and no offense, I love Pete, I love being on council with him, and I've known him a lot longer than council. But I feel like there's a hidden agenda that is not being shared, and that's concerning to me. If there's an agenda, then let us know so we can either all be on board or all be against it. That's kind of my thinking. And I don't know, like, I think Steve's done a great job, and aren't you retired now? Or close?
Very close.
So a part of me thinks that that's just gonna make him more accessible to the city should we need somebody in a pinch.
Yeah, I can tell you,
I would like to respond to my nomination, so that,
Okay.
to be clear that there's no hidden agenda. So the reason that I nominated Pete was because I've been really impressed with how much him and his wife are involved in the city, and they show up to events.
They are.
And I'm not saying
They both
you
do a
are,
great
sir.
job.
No, I don't show up to events.
And right. No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, but
No, you
Pete goes to a lot of the dinners and stuff that I never would go to.
And so to me, that's a thing that I think is a good representation. And again, not saying that you don't do that, but I see the value in that
You're right.
for both him and his wife. Even like there's things that I don't go to, and like so there's a lot of fill in that he does and sharing details of going to those things. So that's where my head's at with it. And then the other thing too, I think that as a developing council, it's nice for other people to get an opportunity to step up and step in and kind of learn to lead. So it's kind of like pass the torch maybe sometimes, but it's not to say that there is no hidden agenda. It's not to say that Steven's doing a bad job. I'm just sharing that I've been very impressed with how much they're out there in the community and at the events. And I think
They do a lot, and I do agree with that.
and please explain, like, what kind of hidden agenda can I have?
I don't know. I saw your Facebook page, and I'm good with that. If I had more time on my plate, I've got 2 jobs, running a police academy and still working full time. So I don't have time to do a Facebook, and I understand the need to have a Facebook, like to get the word out to the citizens. But it just feels like maybe you might be going for something later, which is fine. And I thought maybe you were putting things in place for when that.
I mean, I'm not.
Does that
saying-
make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Is this
like,
the appropriate time to be talking about?
no, I think it is.
I mean, it's part of the
I just want to make
discussion.
sure.
I mean, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what the future holds. Like, you know, there's some uncertainty with my personal career, so my time right now is pretty limited. But I do want to be forward-facing to our community. I want to try to help our council, like, I think, like, be more, as we grow, people are going to have kind of higher expectations for, like,
No,
you
I
know,
get it.
being a voice and being able to access people. And so that's why I'm trying to build up a page that has that historical information, things like that. And if people are interested, they can follow it. If they're not, that's fine too. So, but no, there is no hidden agenda. I don't know.
You do understand that. So I've only been on council, this is my 3rd year, I guess, going in. But I've been working in the city for so long. I've seen so many councils up here, and I've seen a lot of backhanded stuff happen up here. That was one of the reasons I decided to run. So, because then I can't accuse people of doing stuff if I'm there with them. Does that make sense? So forgive me if I'm being a little jaded
No.
in my.
No, and I mean, I appreciate your position. I don't know how that would benefit me in any way, because everybody has the same vote. And if I were to run for something else, that's up to the citizens. It wouldn't be up to the mayor pro tem.
I agree.
So I'm impressed with, they show up to the events. I think that's valuable for our community. And also believe, like I said, in sometimes moving things around. It happens in councils all the time where the mayor pro tem changes and they get an opportunity to step up. So that's all it was.
Okay. I do see that sometimes we need to move things around, and that's why some people step down, we get more people, and giving everybody an opportunity to.
Because you get to go to certain different different meetings too, that's more involved alongside the mayor.
I kind of wish y'all would have just made this decision yourself.
Well, we were deadlocked, so.
I mean, I purposely took that day. I'm kidding.
I actually voted off on you.
You should see Mayor John's face when we all turned to him and went for the traffic.
You know, just
And
to
he's like,
reiterate,
you know what?
I also don't have, I don't think you did a bad job. I just, I know I mentioned to you that I think it's sometimes good just to mix things up, just to kind of, I get along with everyone in the council. I hope they get along with me. I think we work well together. There's definitely not any bad blood between us. There's no reason, and like you said, there's no real benefit to anyone.
Well, of course, I'm a cop, so I'm already very jaded, right? And then, of course, seeing the city evolve in the last, I don't know, how many years? How many years was I resident deputy here? I don't know, 9, 10, something.
May I say, you've seen more council meetings than all of us combined.
I have. Because they used to hire me to stand in the back as resident deputy every council.
And
Because we had council members punching each other, so
And
we
I-
had to have security.
And I understand that,
Yeah, those were the good old days.
the previous councils were very at each other's throat. There's a lot of bad blood between everybody. But I don't feel like we have that situation.
we don't.
I mean, I respect everybody's opinion on this council, and I hope everyone feels the same way.
No, I do. That's why I said I love the council as it is now, because we don't have anybody that seems to be trying to just sabotage the city. We don't have anybody, unless you do have a hidden agenda, that has a hidden agenda.
I don't know what the-
You know what I mean?
My only agenda is like, I want to do right by the city. Like, I have things that are important to me that I would like to see happen, and I think we're going to talk about
Absolutely.
that. Like, there's an opportunity for us to discuss, like, there are things we'd like to see in the city.
I wish
But
we talked
there's
more
nothing-
about law enforcement, but no,
Yeah.
we have to talk about engineering stuff that I don't know anything about.
Talk about law
I think we
enforcement.
challenge each other in a really special way.
I agree.
And I think that that's why we work so well, is because we all are independent, intelligent, strong people, and we have respect for each other. I've just always been impressed with Stephen's knowledge of everything that we discuss. He always has, he's prepared and he's knowledgeable, the way that he represents himself with any speaker that we have, the meetings that he goes to, the water and all of that. He's just always really well invested, and that's what I have found.
And like I said, I am not saying that, and this isn't because I feel like you weren't doing a good job of it. I just, like I said, I think sometimes to mix things up a little bit and kind of rotate around it. That was my reasoning, and I would be interested in doing some of that stuff also. So that was my reasoning for wanting to do it also.
I see benefit in that, and when you were on TV and spoke with a reporter about Fairview, outstanding job. I couldn't have done that.
Well, thank you.
I thought that you represented us very, very well. You have a different, you go to the events, the big dinners, it represents very well. Always have, always will, and I appreciate that. I have been going more to the, like Kelly said, to the water meetings, the Mayor's Coalition.
He goes to the boring stuff and you go to the
Well,
fun
but some of
stuff.
those things, like, because they're already there, if a third person went, we could get into trouble with, quorums and stuff. So those sort of things we can't all go to just because of that. There's already other people there.
That's true. But I'm not saying, I think that anyone here, we have great people on council.
I don't
Lisa,
have time to do
Me
this.
saying, I'm like,
I'm not saying that
Well, I'm-
any of us would be very good at Mayor Pro Tem, but I think that I'm been on the council the longest. I live in the middle. We have two live in the north, two live in the southeast. I feel like I'm in the middle. I feel like I do bring a little bit more past experience that is this is right there in my brain. Yeah, I can't make it go away because it was, as Lisa, I'm sure, has the same feeling, and John. I said Lisa's seen more council meetings than any of us. John is second, and I'm third.
I personally think our meetings now are way more productive than any of them I've seen in the past.
And one thing I used to say to Lisa, come in here, I don't know if you ever remember me saying this to you, but I said, you bring enough bullets. Yes. They're very contentious meetings.
Yeah, you've been here for some of the,
The rough ones, yeah. And John was right in.
because I remember telling Monica when she was, I was like, why do you guys need security all the time? And then I get here and I'm like, oh, now I know.
But
I've had to tell council members from the back, either calm down or you're leaving. Like,
Yeah, it was-
I shouldn't have to do that.
I mean, I was in the audience for some of those meetings, not as many obviously, but I've seen some of that stuff go on.
Yes.
You hear about it after the fact. It was just,
It was crazy, it was crazy. So, I mean, I do respect everybody here, and like I said, I like the mix. It's just when I saw the Facebook page and then the putting Pete up, I was like, okay, what is going on? Are we just trying to have Paloma take over? And so that, I don't know, that's just,
I mean, doing that position doesn't give you an extra vote. It doesn't give you any more say of anything. Honestly, it's just more of an administrative type of thing. It's not,
right, it's just secondary to him.
you feel that if he's out, but you don't, it's no different, like as any other council position, honestly. Except maybe you're in a few more meetings outside of the council meetings. And I mean, the benefit I have, especially because when I'm at work, I'm here. So if there's something going on when I'm at work, I can pop over as long as I'm not on call or something. So
I guess you would be
But the
here.
flip side of that is, if something happens and you're on a call, then you're inaccessible.
well, but the meetings are usually pre-scheduled, they're not like emergencies, so they're not like, if I have to step out sometimes, it's not going to hurt anything.
Another thing Mayor Pro Tem does is signatures.
Yeah.
And so I'm, no big deal to have another new person set up for that, but I'm already set up for that. I had to do it one time, I think. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, it's your job on the line, basically.
Well, again, I think that anyone can do this job. We're all on equal terms. I think that just my experience from the past has enabled me to help the council not fall into the same traps we did before. And we have had some very, very good success in the past 4 years. And I just want us to continue to improve and work towards the future. Pete being here, just fine. He is the Mayor Pro Tem. I think he'll be just fine. 10 years from now, if he wanted to say, oh, only Steve Pingle stay the Mayor Pro Tem, that's not going to happen. This is all just for us. I think that I'm in the middle. I live on ag land. I'm not in development. So I think that I just bring a little different perspective to it. I think that I've got some leadership skills. I'm saying he doesn't, but I may have a leg up on that from my military training. I like the job, and I would like to continue to do it to contribute what I can. If the council desires me to be Mayor Pro Tem, I'm 1,000% in favor of that. And he has all my support. I feel like he did a great job. And he does go to the dinners I refuse to go to. So there's pros and cons.
Can we just do two? Because he is more social. He's more sociable, but he has more of the ins and outs of how a city should run.
Well, I'll go back to the city, I'll see how it can be run wrong.
You yelled at me in executive session. My daughter texted me and you said, "Get off your back."
That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I don't think that's possible.
Actually, it's called deputy mayor pro tem. Some cities have a mayor pro tem and a deputy mayor pro tem.
I'm good with that.
Well, we're a general law, so it's not allowed. Maybe we can get
Like
charter,
making this-
when you get a charter city.
Do it.
John's giving us also.
And so,
Sorry.
I just want to say that, you know, apologize to you or whoever if my Facebook, like, I don't want that to be a negative. The whole point
No,
of doing
no, I
that is
think it's
like
a
that.
positive,
Facebook.
it just all hit at one time. You know what I mean? So it looked,
Well, I
It looked
had
a
that
little
page since I was in Justin, and I converted it to New Ferry.
Right.
So,
no, I'm good with it. I've always, like I said, I wish we could keep up a Facebook page for the whole city and just be more out there. I don't have time to do it. I don't. I do have 2 jobs and 6 grandbabies and
The city does have a
I got
Facebook.
all the things going on. Do it.
The city does have a Facebook page.
Yeah, but nobody's doing anything.
No, there's stuff, yeah, it's stuff, there's stuff we can't put on it, but there, yeah, she posts stuff.
I post stuff all the time.
We do.
Yeah.
You go check it out. There's,
How come his keeps popping up on my Facebook, but
Well,
yours
it's because
doesn't?
you're out
he's a little more active, I think.
Well, how is he on my algorithm, but nobody else is?
I mean, it pops up on mine, actually, but I look at it pretty
I think it first popped up when it was the picture of all of us, and so my algorithm was like, do you know you're in this picture with him?
Well, I guess technically we have 2 now because Jennifer Kozlowski has activated the Keeping You Fairly Beautiful Facebook page that Richard Green started.
I didn't even
And so
have
she's been-
her on my.
She's been forwarding a lot of stuff that we put out in the city as well, so technically we've got 2.
There's a motion on the
Yeah.
floor.
Any more discussion? If not, we have a vote.
I don't like food.
Well, no matter which way you decide, just decide whatever you want to, there's no hard feelings in
No
there.
hard
No,
feelings.
because I really do, because you make a good point. You are very social. You're out there way more than I could be
He
or want to
said
be.
good.
I mean, that's kind of like you. It's like some of these dinners, I don't know that I want to be at, right? But I don't have a
It takes a
problem.
little while, it took,
I don't-
a little while to get used to it. Like I said, I have spoken in crowds of, and when I was in high school, up to 60,000 people. And that doesn't bother me, but I can go to a room of 20 people where I know everybody, that's where I struggle.
Well, and-
I think my problem is I know too many people in the county. but-
Well, and that's a good thing about, like, I know your job, and mine especially, like, a lot of people in the surrounding areas I know just from work. So, you know, I know a lot of people, so going to those things is because, you know, I'm not friends really, but friendly with a lot of these people, so it's,
I can tell you what Stephen told me in my second meeting, vote your conscience.
yeah. I mean,
But my conscience is both of them.
All right, so we're gonna vote. Right now, I call a vote.
I'm not ready.
The motion on the table is for Pete to be mayor pro tem. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed?
I didn't say nothing.
Say nothing is a no vote, if you understand.
No, I have to say something. I really think that Stephen should.
So we're good.
So we gotta vote.
So,
I just think he needs to
motion
continue.
doesn't carry.
Right.
There are 2-3 votes. So do we have another motion?
I make a motion for Stephen, can you just stay for a second?
All right, do I have a second?
You have to second yourself.
She's not going to do it.
I'll second.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Do we need any more discussion?
No, sir.
Okay. So, those for Stephen King for mayor pro tem?
Okay.
All right. Those opposed?
I mean, it's like,
it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm for him. I'm not for him.
Yeah, no,
You get what I'm saying? Like this, I want him to do it. I just wanted to.
right.
Have the opportunity
Yeah.
for a different answer.
Yeah.
But I do like giving different people different opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think more of us need to maybe not go to all the things,
Mhm.
but more of us need to go to some of the things.
Mhm.
So I will make a conscious, I know I've done the cleanup and I go to a lot of the parties, holiday parties, but I will try to go to other events in the county myself.
Of the dinners that I've been to, they have been interesting and I've learned a lot, but if one or two council members could go, you would at least have a buddy, you know,
Yeah.
so.
See, that's another, I don't wanna go, I know way
So
too
you don't
many.
hang out with them?
I promise you, I know way too many
And I
people in
don't
this
know.
county, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I even gonna sit at my table.
So, motion carries for Mr. King to be mayor pro tem. Do we need to do anything? We don't need to do anything, do we?
No, sir.
So we'll move to C, receive, consider and act on an ordinance 2026-0601-142, updating the master schedule of fees for the city of New Fairview.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to go ahead and take this one. Mayor and Council, since 1999, the city has had a master fee schedule that has been approved. We've been amending it on a regular basis. Actually, we've been amending it since I've been here annually, sometimes twice a year. A master fee schedule reflects the fees charged by all city departments. It's amended annually so that fees reflect current costs for providing services, bringing the fees closer to full cost recovery targets, adding new fees when applicable for new city services and/or comparison to surrounding cities. The master fee schedule should be reviewed by the city council periodically, and any recommended changes should be discussed and updated as needed. In addition, fees should be reviewed to make sure they are still applicable and to remove fees no longer needed. Add any new fees authorized by city ordinance. Staff is seeking approval for the addition of some new fees to the master fee schedule. I do want to say that this is actually the work of our city secretary. Susan has done yeoman's work in putting all of this together. You should have in your backup a red line version of the spreadsheet. We also have it up on the screen where we clearly state, show you what our fees are, the types of fees that we have, what the actual fee is right now, and then on the very far right column in red tells you if we are proposing a change or no change to specific fees. Mainly the reason we're having this discussion with you all is because, as I said earlier, we're getting ready to launch into the water wastewater business, and we're needing to start putting in some fees in place because next fiscal year we are going to need to start charging some of these fees in Ranchland, which is the Lennar Homes development, because they're moving forward and drilling 2 water wells, and will be able to start receiving city water services and eventually city wastewater services. The other thing is we've got some additional fees that we have noticed that we need that we don't have. Some of them are fire related. As I told you, when we had discussion with the building official, we talked about all the international building codes with the exception of the fire code, because I'm still not convinced from the fire department that we need to go to 2023. I think we might be able to do 2021, but I still need to have further meetings with both the leadership of New Fairview Fire Rescue and Justin Fire Department. And until I have that and we have a consensus, then we'll be ready to come to you. But at some point though, we are going to need to start implementing these fees. So that's why we are bringing that to you. The last thing is, as you know, we are in budget season. In fact, we have our first budget discussion tonight, our first budget workshop for the fiscal year 2026-2027. At some point here, we're going to be putting together anticipated revenues. Those revenues are going to be based on whatever the fees are. And so this is why it's appropriate for us to go ahead and make any changes to the master fee schedule right now. So when we start looking at assumptions on what amount of fees we think we're going to be able to collect, we're using the most current fees that the council has approved. So with that, I want to go ahead and just launch into the changes. So under the building and permitting section, there's one where we're changing for a fire code review. It used to be 20% of the building permit. We're now going to be charging $100.
No, we're changing
Used to
it
be
from
100.
100.
I'm sorry, we're changing it from 100, adding 20% of the building, coverage. This is a practice that most cities have, including Justin. As a matter of fact, the fire code stuff that you see here, I'll be clear and very transparent, are coming from the city of Justin, because I'm getting ready to amend our agreement with Justin. We're at a point now where we are going to need fire inspection services. Fire inspection means anywhere that we have the public congregating, so whether that's a faith-based location, or whether that's just a hall where you have parties, or whether that's an actual business, like a convenience store, liquor store, you need to make sure that those are fire-safe locations, ensuring that the exit signs are properly working and lit, that there's fire extinguishers somewhere in the room where they need to be. Those are the things that a fire department, a fire marshal does for a city fire department, and Justin has that ability for us to contract with them to do that. The other thing that they help us with is, I want to make them part of our development review team. Whenever we get a proposed development, I've got an engineer, I've got a planner, I've got a building official, we've got code enforcement, the city secretary helps with the planning, myself, but we don't have anybody representing fire, and we're at the point now where I mean, they have more and more questions answered that, especially commercial development, is asking. And that's why we, one, have to update our fire code, but then two, I need someone who is familiar with what our fire code is and has the credentialing to be able to be a fire marshal, fire inspector, and review these documents. So that's one of the reasons why we're starting to make some changes on our fire codes. Was there a question on that specific one? If not, I'm going to keep going. Okay? Keep going.
The fire code specifically, so we're working to contract with Justin, because I was wondering who we're going to have
Yes, sir.
as a fire marshal, because as much as I appreciate the fire department here, I don't think they have the experience.
They don't have the experience,
certification.
although they are getting credentialed, but they don't have the
But
experience.
still,
Right.
that's not something you want your first day getting credentialed to have someone as your main
Yeah.
fire inspector.
Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. And so I've been having discussions with Chief Mitchell, and one, they have the capacity, two, they have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to do it, and three, they have the interest to do it.
And they can do it for the entire city.
Right, see, the beauty of this is, remember, these are pass-through costs, so we, the city of Fairview, aren't actually paying these. This is something that Susan will turn around and invoice when we invoice whoever the applicant is for a development or a building, ends up paying these. And remember, under our current fee schedule, how much is it they have to pay up front for professional fees?
Oh, no, I understand all that.
Yeah,
He's not talking about that, John. He was talking about something else. He was talking about New Fairview Fire West.
Right, I just wanted to make sure that Justin would be able to do it for the entire city of New Fairview. I understand all that.
yes, no, yes, sir, the answer is yes, they can, because they are a city fire department. So yes, they can.
And then I have one other question. Aren't there annual fire inspections?
We haven't got that
We
yet.
we don't have those yet, but that's what we're getting ready to implement.
Okay.
Right, and you'll see some fees about that coming up. So like I said, we're setting the fees, I've got to bring you the ordinance, because I'm still working with the fire department, then once we have the ordinance in place, then I've got to go ahead and amend the agreement that we've got with Justin Fire Department,
Okay.
and then now we'll have all the pieces in place so we can start to operate like a city fire service should operate.
And this amount will cover Justin's fee? I
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
sure of that.
Right, yeah, because again, we're using the very fee that they charge.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, where were we? Fire code review. So yeah, there's a fire code review. Again, it's going to be 20% of the building permit fee, right? Okay, what else do we have?
The energy code recheck fee. That's a new fee.
Oh, yes. So we are having sometimes to go back out and recheck on energy codes that are not coming into compliance. So that's a new fee we want to add for $100 for the recheck, right? Okay. Then we
What
have,
is that?
so we have an energy code that talks about everything from your HVAC to your insulation, you know, anything that's energy code related, the types of doors, windows, and things of that nature. And our building official will go out there and inspect, but just like a plumbing code or electrical code or building code, you may not have put something in place that is in compliance with our code, so you don't pass the inspection. So that means he tells you what you gotta fix, but then you gotta call in for a re-inspection, and we didn't have a fee
So
to
this is
cover.
for new builds.
These are for new builds, yes, sir.
Right. I was confused on
Yeah, no, that's for the new builds. Fire code review, so again, there we're doing 20% of whatever the building permit is to cover the fire inspection.
This is all for.
That's residential, commercial, yeah, it's all the same, whether it's residential, commercial. or whether it's a mixed use, so it's gonna be the same regardless. Okay, here is where we have some of the other fees that we know we're gonna be needing. So for installation of fire sprinkler system, that's gonna need to be inspected. You see there it's gonna be $175. You've got, and then it's gonna be, what is it? 0.012 per foot, right? Yeah. You got the automatic fire extinguisher system, excuse me, you've got the fire alarm system. So you've got all of these different systems that if you're going to install, they need to be inspected by a fire marshal, which again will be Justin Fire Department. And again, we are borrowing from them on what their fees are that they charge if you're going to build the same building over at the city of Justin. Okay? Then we also have some funding there for re-inspections as well. Again, following what Justin has. And then we have all these other fees, so whether it's a multifamily, whether it's their annual inspection, Ricky, that you were asking there. And notice that it breaks it down by whether you are an assembly group A, or you're a business group B, or you're the education group E, factory industrial group F. So depending on what type of building use that is, will determine what the cost is going to be, or the fee for the fire marshal to go in and conduct the inspection.
And I will say the city of Justin does have, but they have Assembly Group A, but I didn't know what Assembly Group A, B, or E, or anything was, but to me, I think it's better if we put what it is, so then you can distinguish what that inspection is going to be and where it falls in that group.
Yeah, so we're adding a little bit more language to our fee schedule than even the city of
small.
Justin currently has.
I mean, what good is a list if we don't know what we need?
Right? So keep going. So here again, we got residential group R1, storage group 5. So again, all these different, trying to make it clear, if this is the type of use you have for your building, that this is a fee that you're going to get charged for them to come in. Matt?
Does that say 10?
Yes, that's like event tents.
Yes.
Oh,
I have gotten a ticket from the city of Dallas at the state fair for not having a proper exit sign on a tent with no walls.
No way.
Yes.
what do you do, exit?
Shame on
I have
you.
an exit sign. And I got
Exit
fined.
every which way.
They want you going through the imaginary walls.
Yes.
Now here,
Okay.
the utility.
Yeah, so now under section 7 is our utilities. Here's where we're starting to expand. As you can see, we're looking at water and meters. It's all going to be based on size. What size meter do you have is going to be the fee that you're going to end up paying. Now, we have these right now as placeholders. I am working with the city of Justin. We're going to contract with a company called NewGen, because we actually need to do a study to be able to determine what the water rates and the wastewater rates are going to be. And since, as I told you, we're getting ready within the next year to launch into starting to provide water service for ranch land, we need to have those in place. We can't just go around and say, we think your water bill should be X number of dollars for the first 5,000 gallons. No, that's not how it works. You have to have an actual study in case anybody challenges us. The PUC is going to want to see that study. So we know this, we're already working on it. At some point, I'm going to bring an ordinance to you all so you guys will officially adopt what those rates are. And if we end up having to change them from here, we'll make that change as well. We'll amend the fee schedule. But I wanted to have something in place because it's better to have something than not have anything at all. And that way we have, again, we're using numbers that we've received from the city of Justin, because the other thing I'm going to be bringing to you some point in the future here is contracting with the city of Justin for them to come in and help us run the water system that we're about to take over for our, in Ranchland from the 2 water wells that are being drilled. We don't have the Class C licenses that are needed, but Justin does. We will be looking at getting our Class D licenses. We'll start training under Justin, and then eventually we'll be able to get our Class C, and at some point, Justin knows we were going to wean ourselves off of them, and we'll start running our own system without necessarily having to contract with them for the service anymore. So again, this is why we're trying to keep things consistent, so that they know, just like the fire department knows when they're coming over here doing inspections, they're familiar with it in their city, they'll be familiar with it in our city. Questions on the water and the meter costs that we're proposing for
So we
now?
don't make any money on this, right?
Oh, no, you
You
do.
don't know that one.
Oh, because I thought you were saying it goes straight to,
No, not this necessarily. Yeah, so the city will be making money out of this, and then we will be paying Justin based on the agreement we have with them
I got
for
it.
the service, right? But
So it's
we make
not
to make sure
all
we're-
going.
no, it's not all going to them, right? Because the fee's got to cover other things. It's got to cover our cost. We got to have, one of the things that we're going to be doing is setting up a rate stabilization fund so that if for some reason all of a sudden water rates spike, you don't want the residents that overnight having to pay double their water bill, right? You have a rate fund that you're able to draw down as you're trying to ratchet up rates softer for them, so that you don't have that type of impact. And you certainly don't want to take money from the general fund to help pay for the water fund. So remember, we'll be talking about at our retreat, the water fund and the wastewater fund, which are going to be enterprise funds different from the general fund, okay? What am I looking at now, Susan?
The water main extensions, and then we're going down to all the miscellaneous fees that are related to utilities.
Okay, so we have,
It's on the bottom, but I can't,
under the,
I was trying to figure out how to spin it.
the water main extension, the cost is what the cost is. A fire hydrant, you know, their developer's gonna be responsible for putting in, and in case you forgot already, the criteria manual that you guys recently adopted, that you had that conversation with our engineer, Riley Perulik, we have smart hydrants, is what they're called, so we're gonna be able to be better informed as to what's happening with water pressure in our system than even Justin is, because they don't have those smart meters yet, or the smart hydrants. So we've already got stuff in place to make sure that we are using the most advanced technology out there. And again, this is one where we don't pay for this, the developer pays for this. So that's why it has on there, the cost is what the cost is, its actual cost. And then, of course, miscellaneous, if you pay us with a bad check and your check gets returned for your water bill, you get the $30, is that what it is, insufficient funds?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like a.
That we
check.
charge on it, so we're adding that for our utilities, along with the credit card processing of 3.5, which is the standard.
checks are still a thing.
Yes, I just wrote one the other day. Some of us still go to a bank, believe it or not, to take money out.
I think that also includes electronic checks.
We actually,
Okay, fair enough.
we actually had one, we have had one since I've been here.
Yeah.
You had a bounce check?
Yes, we have.
Okay, what else do we have?
All the miscellaneous
I
fees.
have a question.
Yes, sir.
Backflow, device registration, and inspection.
Uh-huh.
So that's for like irrigation, right?
So backflow is to protect your water system from something going back in and contaminating your water. They're like backflow valves, right?
In the case of your neighborhood, and most commonly required by code in residential neighborhoods, you do have an RPZ or a backflow prevention device tied to your irrigation.
Right. And
Yes.
so my question is this a fee I'm gonna have to start paying?
No, sir, this is for
Installation.
It
installation.
says annual inspection.
Yeah, it is annual.
So like
Most
my
cities have
restaurant, I
annual.
have an annual backflow and I have an annual backflow inspection because it is a food service industry.
Yeah, commercial
So
buildings are
residential
required.
shouldn't, but some companies
Well-
will.
But it doesn't
Roanoke
say.
requires it.
What'd you say?
Roanoke does require
I
back.
know some cities do, and that's why I'm asking about it.
Right, so some of these fees are gonna be based on like a complaint, like for example, let's say you had a problem with your water line and you go in and have it repaired, then at that point, they're probably gonna wanna inspect your backflow to make sure, again, with the installation, nothing got affected. But a lot of this is gonna be the inspections for new installs, or, as you mentioned, for commercial, because once we start to get especially more restaurants, you're wanting to make sure that that valve is functioning the way it should.
Once you're hooked up to a public surface water system, you're gonna want to have backflow inspections annually. That's gonna be part of your water department. Guaranteed.
Yeah, so if you think of it this way, we're putting these in place to protect us because heaven forbid if something happens and we get our water system contaminated, Boil water notices need to go out, TCQ needs to come in, we need to, do all the inspections that are needed to be able to show that we have cleared out whatever contaminants, or there were in fact no contaminants, and so it's just a very costly.
Yeah, I'm just asking so I can understand if that's something that's gonna roll out, then I would like to be aware, because people are gonna, it's not something we've had to do, and then they're gonna be wanting to know about it.
And I don't think that it's gonna affect you because you're not on the city water system.
Okay,
This is gonna be affecting right now, first and foremost, the people at Ranchland, because they're gonna be on city water system. So everybody else who's not on city water system, this does not apply to you.
okay.
Well, I'm sure we pay fees for that. With Southwest, I don't know what water you
So-
have, but.
But I guess maybe I just didn't understand. So this will go out to residential houses, so they're gonna have to pay yearly inspection fees for these things?
If you're on the,
If you're on the city water system. Because again, we need to protect our water system.
I think it's a state mandate.
It is, you're correct.
But that's only if you're on the city water system. So right now, we're just talking Ranchland. Sometime in the future, we're gonna be talking Constellation Lake, but that's all that we have so far until we finally hopefully get water coming up 287 and then down 407, and now that opens up to connecting to other systems that now this will affect them as well. Which could, if Aqua Texas holds true to what they said, where they're interested in possibly buying water from the city so they don't have to rely on groundwater, then yeah, we're probably gonna have to require backflow valves and inspection of where we're connecting to their system, not your individual systems, but where we're connecting to their system.
So they have to pay, not us.
Here's
Right,
the
so
way
they're
it
gonna have to
was
pay.
explained to me. You have your water hose in your swimming pool filling it up, and they have a leak breakdown line, and it causes a vacuum. It'll suck your swimming pool empty into the system and contaminate it.
Oh, I mean, I understand that.
With the bleach, with the chlorine.
Or whatever it is you have, you could have to be, out putting pesticide down and leave it hooked up overnight, and then it could have a negative flow in the line you didn't know about. It will suck whatever it is in your container back into the system. And everyone could be using different applications, you just don't know. So that's basically to protect the public water supply.
Yeah, I understand what backflow preventers are. I just wanted to know how it would affect, so it's just for the new.
It's just for people who are gonna be on city water. So right now, we're just talking Ranchland, and then eventually we'll be talking Constellation Lake, but that's it.
John, we forgot 2 more fees under special events, so that
Oh.
was before utility related, it was for the city hall rental.
Yes,
We're
so.
gonna say we're gonna start renting this out?
So, well, this is something that we've had the HOA from Fairview Meadows that has been, had 2 or 3 meetings here already. And I wanted to recommend to the council that we have a minimum that we charge for the use of this, because if you think about it, even if they're here for 2-3 hours, we need to have a building attendant here. So that means a city employee needs to be here after hours. We're paying them overtime for time and a half to basically just sit here and make sure that there are no issues with the building, or when they're done, they can go ahead and lock up everything, turn the lights off and leave. And so, do you have that fee up there somewhere?
It's right
Am I missing-
there.
Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
it's right
Okay.
there.
So we are proposing for the city hall that it's $60 for the first 2 hours, and then $30 for each additional hour if you're a resident. And if you're not a resident, then it's gonna be $100 for the first 2 hours, and then $50 for each additional hour to be able to rent the council chambers here at City Hall. However, we put language in there that the city administrator may exempt the fee. So let's say the Boy Scouts want to come and have a meeting here, or a faith-based organization, or some other nonprofit wants to, for some reason, have it here. I would think that, I could send something out to the council, you get to just to poll you, but I would suspect that we would want to offer that opportunity for them to come and meet here, and we'll just absorb the overtime cost that we end up paying the city employee to sit here and babysit our building, basically.
So is this just for meetings, or is it gonna, I'm sorry.
No, you're-
Or is it going to be like if somebody wants to have a baby shower or something. can
Well,
they-
we don't have the ability to have special events in our building here.
I was
We
just
do have
curious
the ability.
what
to-
the
Yeah,
extent was.
so this is more for a meeting type of use,
That was
right?
literally my question.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is for meetings. Now, someday in the future, maybe we'll have a facility that could be used as a special event / senior center / teen dance / birthday party, quinceanera, you name it. We're just not there yet.
Well,
The only thing we have to offer is
No
a
alcohol.
pavilion. No. The only thing we have to offer right now is a pavilion at our park, but we've already got that fee set. Again, it's a certain reduced fee for a resident and a little bit higher fee if you're not a resident to reserve the pavilion for
And they can do
whatever.
that for like. a
You can
kid's
do that
birthday
now.
party.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
well, not that I'm advocating for it, but why is this not adequate to hold like a small gathering for, like what about this is not able to handle it?
I don't want to be moving your days around. I don't want to have to be unplugging a lot of the stuff. So if it's something minor that they can, sit over here and have their deal without touching this, I think we'd be amenable to it. But if it's like we want to have a full-blown dance, we did it, no, I'm
Oh, no,
sorry.
no, no,
Not
I mean,
for 60
This is not big
Well,
enough.
yeah,
for
we're not
a
that,
music
it's not
event.
big enough.
this room's not big enough for something like that, but if you want to have like 20 people to have like a baby shower or something, like, then not like there's dancing or music or whatever, but it's like a small get together like that, I'm just
So,
curious
and
why.
again, to me, that's just, you're over here on this side of the room, you're not having to mess with this over here.
They could just
You
use
handle
this
it.
to hold
Can I
presents.
bring this up? Is that not like a liability for us of any sort?
No,
Yeah, with
as
our-
long as we're not allowing things like alcohol, I think we should be fine.
Well, what happens if somebody slips and falls?
I mean, you can say that about any meeting.
Well, that,
Your
I mean,
insurance
that,
should cover all of that anyway, just normal wear and tear.
Well, I would pay for maybe council meetings, but not for like after hour.
But if you're doing Fairview Meadows meeting, and the HOA meeting, if someone falls here, it's the same thing, it's
Well, I
not
was
city
thinking
function.
along the baby shower or something like that, I was
I'm
I
more-
think the question is, what's the defining, how are we defining the difference between the two?
So, here's what the way I'm looking at it is, I'm wanting to minimize damage to this room, because we're, as you can see, we're spending money in trying to bring you the best council chamber that we can afford, right? We don't want stuff where you're spilling red Kool-Aid on this carpet, or kids drawing on the wall, right, or something like that. Sir?
Or even put decorations.
Yeah, and, you start to hang decorations, so if you're here because you want to conduct a meeting, if you're here because you got some group session that you want to have, or you can just put chairs in a circle and maybe some cookies and a bottle of water, great, knock yourself out. But if we're now starting to have full-blown parties, piñatas, any of that stuff, no, I'm afraid, no. There's the potential for damaging this room, I think, is too high. We're just gonna have to say no until we finally have a facility that we can accommodate that type of use.
I'm not necessarily pro party, I'm just saying, I want to make sure we have language in place to distinguish between the two. Because
maybe
if one
say there's
person,
a meeting.
if one person came to a HOA meeting and then said, oh, now can I have a baby shower, we told them no, how are we gonna be able to cover ourselves in
Sure.
that conversation?
Yeah, I think we can come up with some criteria that says, as long as none of this is occurring, or as long as only this is occurring, then you're able to use this facility.
Because, I mean, if we're not going to make it available to most people, then is it really even necessary to have this fee in there?
Well, do you want to recover the cost of the employees that we're going to be paying? Because like this HOA,
Yes, but how,
if they come over, the HOA has already been, what, 2 or 3 times here?
Twice.
And they kind of indicated they want to start meeting regularly here,
I mean,
okay?
But have they been doing it for free up till now?
Yes,
Twice,
they have.
yes.
are they gonna wanna keep
But
doing
it's not
that?
like they can't afford it.
No, I understand that, but how are they still gonna wanna do it when you say, oh,
They don't
by
have
the
a
way,
facility,
you know
they
what?
don't have a facility.
Yeah, they don't have any
for
option,
one.
and this is dirt cheap.
Well, and well, zero's dirt cheap, but I wasn't advocating for doing it for free, I just think if we're not gonna open this up as a space for people to rent, then why say, well, you can rent it, but nobody else can? Like, it just seems like we're adding a provision on for nothing, we just say no and not use this for.
Well, you are taking then an opportunity in this case for the HOA for Fairview Meadows that we're kind of trying to treat them like neighbors and residents because eventually there are going to be residents in the city. Something as simple as letting them have meat in this room here, I think is something that we would want to do. But if that's not something you're wanting to do, then we don't have to allow them to continue to
Do
use
other
this room.
neighborhoods have?
Yeah, I think that's very good to help them out. Otherwise, that HOA meeting is in Dallas, and they never had the opportunity to meet.
Yeah, I would say the same, because our neighborhood, once it eventually gets controlled by the residents, we're gonna need a space, so that's something where this could
You
work.
guys don't have, they don't have a community center?
Not in Newberry?
No. Well, they
Well, I was
don't.
thinking in Paloma or.
No, Paloma
No, we
doesn't. Even Fairview Meadows doesn't have a meeting place. I mean, you can sit out by the pool, but in July?
So my other question was, does this price point cover cost of cleaning?
No. It is just covering the personnel cost to babysit the facility.
Can you put in there that they have to clean up after themselves?
Well, yeah, we can, but I mean, we're not requiring a deposit either. If you want, typically we can require a deposit, and if there's any cleaning that's needed, we can charge it against their deposit if they don't clean it
Well, I
back.
mean, it's like if everyone leaves and then someone has to stay an extra 30 minutes to put the chairs back and vacuum the floor, that's time and a half, 30 minutes.
Right.
So I just wanted to see if that price point covered that extra 30 minutes.
No, it's just covering basically the time that they're using the facility.
And nobody's staying after and putting the chairs back in.
Okay.
They're locking the doors and somebody else is doing that.
Yeah, we take care of it the next day.
And that's fine too, I just, labor, I'm just processing.
But I mean, if they made a mess here, they dropped a cake, and now we gotta come in and vacuum and, get the little.
Red Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's my worst nightmare is red Kool-Aid, but yeah, you gotta come in, you gotta rent the cleaning machine and, all that. Then yeah, we have no cost recovery mechanism because we're not requiring a deposit.
I'm
I don't want to make it a big
gonna
deal.
bring red Kool-Aid next meeting.
I don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is, because we are only doing meetings right now, and if we decide to open it up for more social events, we can reevaluate. But those are just my two
Sure.
concerns.
So is the consensus of the council that we keep
Yeah, we can.
rental for the council chambers,
Yeah.
those rental amounts that we're proposing you're good with, and then I can work with staff and we'll set up some criteria so that when we get contacted, we can say, as long as you're not doing any of this, then yes, you can use it, or otherwise, sorry.
And I also assume the discretion of the administrator to waive the fees would extend fully to the HOAs.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I don't wanna
again,
charge
if you guys aren't wanting me to charge the HOAs, again, when I put it out there, say, hey, we've been contacted by the HOA, should I charge or not charge, you guys let me know and I'll go with what the consensus of the council tells me.
Is an average HOA meeting an hour, or is it 3 hours?
No, it's typically about 2 hours, a little
Depends
less.
on what the mayor speaks and.
Yeah.
Because
It depends how angry they are.
I don't want to be that person, I don't mind waiving the fees for like the first hour,
Well-
maybe two,
Well,
but after that.
Paloma Ranch neighborhood, oh my God, 4 hours, it's all about water pressure,
That's what city council.
water taste.
I mean, so in that restaurant, if HOA meetings the owners were allowing, and we're not charging the HOAs, again, why are we putting the fees in?
I'm for charge, I want to recover the cost of any employee that's on overtime. If it was during hours or something,
I
or people
agree.
are already here,
The
that's fine.
HOAs make a lot of money.
Yeah,
off
they've got the money for it.
We might as well reap some benefit.
And we don't need to make the HOA happy, because we need to make the people that live there happy.
Exactly.
They pass that cost on to the homeowner.
I haven't heard.
But it's
they're
60
happy
bucks.
Because they actually get to attend the meeting.
Well, they got
I'm
to
fine
pay
with it
those
being
fees
here.
anyway.
But like I said, waiving the fee for the HOA, I mean, I don't know if the people that actually attend the meetings really care if the HOA has to pay $50 or whatever it is.
60.
60.
Yeah, because they gotta pay their fees, whether they're using.
$500 non-resident.
Yeah, well, again, next time we contact, I'll let you guys know and you can let me know what you think and I'll go from there.
I mean, I'm okay with the fees being there, I just, like, if we're only doing it for the HOAs, and we're not charging the HOAs, I don't see the point of adding a fee that we're never gonna charge.
We're doing it because right now we've had the HOA ask. But that's not to mean that sometime in the future, we're not gonna have somebody else ask as well, right? And so I'd like to have a fee here so that if we do get that ask, we find out first, are you a resident, not a resident, and then what type of use, what type of event's gonna be, and then we can start talking about what that cost is gonna be, how many hours, et cetera. And then if we start to have problems, then we'll either have to amend our criteria, or I'll come back to the council and say, hey, we're probably gonna need to start charging a deposit because, and then lay out why that reason is. Okay? Did we cover all the fees at this point?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so we have mentioned all the fees and the changes. Are there any other fees that you wish to discuss before considering this ordinance? Okay, Mayor, that's all we have.
Any other questions? If we can ask them all. If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the new fee schedule.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, council.
Go to D, receive, consider, and act on a resolution 2606-01-192, amending resolution 2025-06-01-158, and approving, adopting an investment policy for funds for the fiscal year 26-27.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take this one again, and I want to thank Susan Greenwood for her work on this. Mayor, Council, if you recall, we have a public funds, we have an investment policy as required by the Public Funds Investment Act here in Texas. And as a result, we are supposed to bring the policy for your review annually, and that's what you have here before you, is the policy. We didn't make any changes to this.
We did not.
Yeah, so this is the same policy that you guys adopted back in 2025. We didn't make any changes to it. We are required to have one. In fact, once it passes, we send it to our financial institution. So the bank gets it, Texas Class gets it because they're our investment pool, and I forgot where else we send it. We send it to our financial, we send it to our financial advisor, and that way they know that we have our investment policy because we're required to have it. So unless you have any questions, that's all that we have. It's the same policy that we've had in place since last year.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I move to approve agenda item 8D as presented.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kelly.
I second it.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's yes. All right. Receive, consider, and act regarding additional storage capacity at the municipal complex.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to take this and also ask our Public Works Director, Joshua Barnwell, to help me with this. Mayor, Council, if you recall, back in March of this year, we had a discussion with the City Council regarding the cost breakdown for the purchase and installation of a 40-foot long used Conex box with 4 roll-up doors. The cost for that project at the time was estimated at about $18,200 because we were going to do some of that work in-house, like preparing the foundation, doing the electrical work, putting in the wall dividers between the different bay areas, etc. However, in discussion with the council, we informed you that, while that extra storage is going to be helpful, we will be already maximizing that, and so council directed us to go ahead and look at adding an additional Conex box, which would use stack one on top of the other, to also include a stairwell, obviously to reach that top box, to paint both Conex boxes, and then we're still planning to place these Conex boxes over here by the multi-purpose building on the back side of it. We have gone ahead and looked at what that cost is going to look like, and so we are prepared first to mention that if we got a 53-foot long used box, and then we got the other 45-foot long used box, and we stacked one on top of the other, that would be about $13,767 to purchase those. Another $2,500 to install the metal railing that's going to be needed, and staircase would be $8,500. To paint it, that's going to run us about $9,000. To do the compactor drum roller would be about $2,400. To to get the base that we would need to prepare where the Conex boxes are gonna sit on is about 2,800. The electrical materials is gonna run us about 3,000. And then we would like to install some storage racks so we maximize the use of these Conex boxes. That's another 3,000. So in total right now, we're looking at a project cost of about $44,967. What I've asked Joshua to do is to provide you photos of something that we think you're looking for. What you see up there in the photos are 2 stacked Conex boxes, which is just down the road at Top Flight Steel that Mr. Jaime Chacon installed into his place. So you got the view there from the front, from the side, and here's the back. As you can see, we're going to need a wide stairwell like that. We're looking at putting railing up on top that will open up so that when we need to lift something up with a forklift, pallet of water, whatever the case might be, we're able to do that and safely put it on the landing or the Conex box so that we can move it into the front of, inside the Conex box on top. We also need to make sure that we have a wide enough stairwell going up so that as we're moving our canopies or whatever it is that we've installed at the top box, we can safely get our staff to maneuver with that equipment down the flight of stairs to the ground level. This one you can see on the side picture has only got 1 door. Ours is going to have 4, correct? You're going to have the 4 sliding doors, very similar to what this Conex box right behind. If you open that door and you look out, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's on the side of the Conex box, you got 4. So you have 4 separate little storage areas, which is helpful for us because they're able to separate. How do you separate your 4 storage in there right now?
Well, right now, one of them is asphalt materials, i.e. mastic, we keep pallets, the crack sealing medium, and we keep some of the bagged asphalt repair, pothole material in the first bay. Then you get to the second bay, and that's traffic control mediums, barriers, signs, cones, etc. Then the last bays are kind of our miscellaneous bay, and then the third bay is going to be Keep New Fair, Keep Beautiful, and more signs.
So it helps us compartmentalize where we place stuff so that when we're either needing to get ready for a special event or road project or whatever, they know where they can go and everything is there. And so that's how we'll be using the bottom Conex box for this project, is compartmentalizing, and then of course we'll put other stuff on top that we don't use except for maybe like our Christmas decorations or Halloween or stuff that you only use once a year and we don't need to get to it all the time. You have the site rendering?
How safe is this? The big winds? I'm stupid.
They're connected together.
Yeah, those have been up for about 7 years. They're welded together, and they're sitting on a gravel base just like we are.
I don't know if you all know, we get a lot of wind over this one.
That to be a hurricane.
We have had hurricane force winds, so
They do not slide down coming across the ocean.
Yeah, they're heavy. But where did we get these numbers from? Do we have a bid for these things, or is it, like, does $20,000 to put stairs, railing, and paint seems like a lot of money?
Yeah. Because then I start to wonder, is the Conex box the way to go when you're talking $45,000?
I mean,
and that you can build.
You can build a shed.
Yeah.
You don't have room to build a shed.
Joshua, do you want to go
We have
over,
like 10 acres.
pull up the June 1st,
Don't we
the
own all that
concrete
land?
Excel spreadsheet?
44,000 without concrete and.
Break that, that one. It won't open either? Okay, all right.
I mean,
For someone that just
Have you
has to
seen
do
some of the
Here,
ones in our
Joshua.
neighborhood?
Huh?
Have you seen some of the ones in our neighborhood as well?
But I'm saying to get the electricity over there?
There, question.
I did 400
about
feet,
these
it's
prices, so why don't you just do that?
Just get
Okay,
electricity.
so Pete, he's gonna answer your question as to where we got the numbers for these,
So the Connex box, despite the fact that it's a high likelihood that at least one or both of them will come from Jaime, the prices were received from Cactus Containers in Decatur, which is probably one of the largest resellers. They're also who happened to sell us and did the modifications on our original rig. So I called them initially on the 53-foot long, which is an unusual size. And then after verifying, then I contacted them for the 45-foot long. And they give you both options of purchasing used or what's known as a single use, but there is a substantial price difference between used and single use. The metal railing and the staircase, Jonathan Watson of, excuse me, of Top Flight Steel is the one that provided me with those. The paint, the same painter that we've used to do your apartments next door, as well as the tape bed and texture work here, is who I contacted about that. And then the drum, the drum compactor rental, same as we used when we did all the original work out here, same person, which is Kevin over at, what's that one near you? It's Kevin Cook. Star Tractor. And then the electrical work, same electrical contractor that's currently wiring up the Green Ribbon project out there is the one that provided me the price for this. And then the storage racks, I went off of what we've been purchasing the different pallet racking for.
Well, so we got a price from somebody else is buying the box from somebody else, like,
Well, so when I originally got the price from Cactus, I reached out to Jaime because Cactus doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the crane to stack them and weld them together. So I reached out to Jaime. Well, Jaime happens to purchase a lot of boxes that he has all of his supports and stuff brought in from China, and they just keep the box. So he's like, well, I'll sell you the box and do this modifications for the same price as Cactus. Only difference is we get a single-use box versus.
I mean, I'm fine with the box price. My concern isn't the rest, it's just the railing, staircase, and paint is almost twice as much as the boxes themselves. It seems like a lot of money to paint and put a metal staircase
Yeah,
in.
Labor.
stacking it really, this is a lot more expensive than what I was expecting.
So if we're getting single-use boxes from Jaime, are they gonna have the logoing on them, or are they just gonna be blank boxes?
No, single-use boxes still have the logo on there. Yeah, they're still provided and manufactured by whomever. They're just not, dented, or, they don't have any of the rust or some of the usual suspects you get. Although we've been pretty fortunate with the quality of the boxes. The main difference I can tell you right now with the reason why the railing and the paint and the staircase are the prices that they are, because every last one of those includes labor. The other ones don't. We're buying a box.
No,
The
I
boxes are
understand.
almost already built.
Still, $10,000 to paint 2 boxes?
No, that's painting all four.
Mhm.
That's painting the ones,
The existing ones as
this
well.
one, 'cause I want these painted too, because I'm tired of looking at them. This,
Okay, well, I guess that's a little bit different, but I didn't realize it was all full.
And then you gotta remember, they're having to use a product called DTM, direct to metal paint, a little bit more expensive than your house paint. About $80, $90 a gallon, give or take.
I mean, the 9,000 is a little more reasonable, I guess, if it's all four of them.
And then they have to get rid of that stupid lettering too, because if you paint over the lettering, you're gonna see the dadgum lettering just in a different color.
I don't think I expected it to be that
I
expensive.
definitely did it. I mean, I think we need storage because even though there's been considerable work to clean some of the stuff over there, there's still a lot of stuff sitting there and enough stuff where, I mean, there's still stuff stacked in right next to the ambulance where we open the door and smack it against generators and things. There's ladders hanging out there and where they're gonna fall and hit stuff. There's still a lot of stuff sitting in there that doesn't need to be in the spot that it is.
Yeah, and I support that, I just don't know if I
Is it-
support it at 45,000.
Yeah, this is a lot of money for that.
It's a long-term investment. I mean, it's not like a quick fix. It's something that's gonna last us for a long time. And I think that if we want to put the right foot forward as far as representing the city, then it's important to have them look nice as well, which means is the paint and the professional stairwell and all of that covers us not only presenting a positive reflection, but also keeping safety and insurance and all of that in check, making sure that our employees are safe.
And I'm kind of torn on this one because we need space and we need to get some of that stuff done, but again, like everybody else said, I wasn't expecting it to be $50,000 to put these two boxes in. I mean, the paint makes a little more sense now that it's all floor, but it still seems a little high to me.
What would you like to see, like what are options that we could look at to possibly bring the cost down without jeopardizing the integrity of the investment.
Well, I would imagine probably the paint is the easiest one, you know, if you don't want to paint them. What is that, 9,000, 8,000?
9,000.
9,000 off the top you take off. That's an aesthetic, that's not a safety. I wouldn't want to skimp on the stairwell because that's a safety issue, right?
What about the electric? Is it necessary to have electricity on those things? Do we plug stuff in, or is it just for lighting?
Will be electric power vents.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I'm concerned about, and actually Joshua and I talked about this, is we're probably going to need to do some insulation, at least to the top box, to minimize the heat that it's going to be absorbing. And then we're probably going to need to get some window units to be able to raise, because they get pretty darn hot, as you can imagine. It's a metal block box. It's sitting out there in the scorching sun in the middle of June, July, August in Texas heat, which is, you know, triple digits on the outside. Can you imagine what it's like inside a box like that? And the problem then becomes is stuff that we have stored in there can start to get damaged by the heat. And so that's one of the reasons why we try not to that's one of the reasons why we had all of our Halloween and Christmas and stuff upstairs in the multi-purpose building in the storage rooms upstairs, because that temperature is better regulated than anything out of Conex boxes. So we are going to need to install at some point some fans or some AC units.
Not to mention at some point our employees are inside there as well, whether they're cleaning it, stacking it, organizing it, or just even pulling it
Right,
out.
again, if you think about during the winter months, it gets dark come 5 o'clock, so we're working on something, you're gonna need lights in there to be able to see what's inside as you're stacking stuff back in, or as you're pulling stuff out, because you gotta go to a project because we have a high water rate event or something, right?
Which again goes to safety and security.
Yeah, so that's a safety security issue where, again, paint is not.
Did we get any quotes, or is this just?
Yeah, so yes, we say he got
Oh, he
quotes from
got
different
several.
people.
No, definitely, you didn't get bids, you just got.
No, I don't send it out for bids, no.
We didn't get a bid, we just got quotes.
Can we try to check around, see if we can get some better pricing on some of the staircase and the painting and stuff? I mean, I don't think you're gonna, let 3,000 for the electric, I think is
That's actually
pretty
That's
good.
the only reason it's that price is because we're doing most of it in-house. We only farm out what we're permit required to farm out.
Joshua, do you think this is a good idea, or do you have other options you think may be viable for a storage here?
So I did a little bit of research initially, and the only other solution I could find that was somewhat viable was the portable building route. You know, like you'd see for classrooms, the used portable building route. The big difference with that is the fact that it obviously takes up a wider footprint. So where we have the dimensions that we have right now, we are extending the existing gravel driveway out 20 feet. That's as far as we can go before we hit the septic tanks and the mound system and we interfere with that. So we're extending 24 feet. We're going 100 feet long. We've got length for days because that's where we store a lot of our implements at for now, is at the end, but we're widening it so that the fire department, the ambulance guys got their full swing, even if we're parked there temporarily. By widening it 20 feet, it gets us further out of their way. But if I were to put the standard is usually you can get up to a 16-foot wide or go to a 25-foot wide portable, classroom-like building, but the smallest they go is 16 feet wide. So now I'm extending out 20 feet, so now I go 16 feet instead of 9 feet in my width. Is it doable? It's doable, but
I think it was trashy.
you think what?
I think a portable school building would look trashy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I was saying, like, would we have space for like a metal barn or shop?
You'd have to go, it could be right here.
No, we would end up having to build probably across the creek on what we're eventually going to be talking about, this layout design for what's going to ultimately, I think, be our water, wastewater, public works area next door. Everything from water utility billing to lay down yard to bays for vehicles and whatnot.
Well,
So
we're
if
thinking
we're gonna
about-
build something like that, we're gonna end up needing something like that on that side of our creek anyway, that we might as well do it and do it right by putting it over there. Not easily accessible right now, but at some point in the future, and now EMS may want to take some of that land for, the station, but again, that's part of the discussion that I need to have with the council at our retreat.
I was getting ready to say, if we're planning on putting the public works over there eventually anyways, why not go ahead and build a building or a shed on that side, so it's already there for them,
Sure, but
and eventually move the ones they have here over there.
I mean, the building that you're meaning to put over there, how much land do you think you need for that building? Because there's 5 acres of land over there.
Yeah.
Correct.
But
I mean, you're-
understand, it's not just a building, you need to have a parking lot,
Well,
you need
that's-
to have wide lanes for vehicles, you need to have lay-down yards, you need to have storage facilities. So there's a lot that you're gonna need for a site, for it to be a true water, wastewater, public works yard.
But that's what this is.
Infrastructure covering all this, either concrete or you're also gonna have some containment.
We're gonna need to have a detention
Because
facility
you're
here,
not
so
gonna
you're
get
correct.
run off into
The
that.
runoff's gotta have to go into the
Septic yard, an
detention.
area for the septic to be able to sprinkle out on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much land do you think you need for that building? Because this is actually storage, so that's what this would be. So
Yeah, that's gonna just be storage.
Yeah, this is just storage, it's not using for anything else, just storage. That's all we've looked into.
I hate to say it, 5 acres, and if you're not putting the EMS there too, you're gonna be crowded. EMS and Public Works.
is
on 5
there
acres.
a 4-acre building and parking?
Yes, you'll be very crowded. Because remember, you gotta have room for, you wanna have to have room for an 18-wheeler to come in and go for all our deliveries. You're gonna have to have a detention system that's gonna take up
Half
half an
acre.
acre or more.
Yeah, for detention pond, for the runoff that we're gonna be creating.
Run off of what?
With the building footprint, any parking lot, any roads or driveways, all of that is factored and calculated into runoff that you now have to detain on site before you slowly release it onto the creek.
It's no longer permeable ground. It's now all concrete and whatnot, so the ground is no longer able to absorb that, so now we have to create this pond to make up for that. Otherwise, we're gonna flood Mario out.
So personally, I would like to see some other options, and I don't know that we can get there. I don't know that I can get there tonight. I don't have any ideas other than what I was saying, but I'm not excited about doing it at $45,000 for Connex boxes. I think we should invest in something better or look for a different solution, in my opinion. But that's where I stand on it tonight, so.
Yeah, I mean, I want a solution to come up because I want this stuff more organized and out of the way, but I didn't realize it was gonna be this much money, and if we're gonna spend $50,000, there's gotta be something else we could use that money for that would be better than this.
Yeah, I thought the Connex boxes were a cheaper option.
Yeah.
The Connex box is very cheap. The box.
It's the stack.
Yeah, y'all just want to drop one box out there, I'm fine with that.
But you still have to
That's
do all
not
this
gonna
stuff.
be enough for
I
them.
know.
Right, the 2 boxes was our idea.
Yeah.
They only wanted one, and we're like, no, take 2. Take 2, they're small.
And now we're like, no, we don't want you to have to.
Well, but the price doesn't really go down much with just one. Because except for the staircase,
The staircase and the staircase and the railing,
that's the only thing,
Paper
everything
go
else
down a little
is
bit,
the
because then we're only painting 3 instead of 4.
One box is, if we add paint into it, one box is like 23. If you add painting everything, it's around 25. But one box, adding one box and painting, I mean, there's no staircase, there's no stacking, there's no crane. There's a lot of things that don't exist.
The stacking is not part of the price.
Although that's included in the price of the two being put together.
Right.
That was kind of the benefit from buying from a steel erector.
No, right, but the 13,000 for the boxes isn't really where.
well, one,
Yeah,
if you just got
that's all.
153-foot box, you're looking at probably, I'm gonna guess about 40 grand for 153-foot one use.
If your memory serves correctly, it just got, yeah, with delivery and everything, including the doors added to it, it comes out to about $7 grand
So,
with the doors added to it, yeah.
So $7,000 for one and 13 for two? Stacked and.
Yeah,
Well, the second
yeah.
one's not getting-
Because the one on top is just staying standard. We're not adding any bay doors to it. It's just gonna be a double-ended box.
So it doesn't really save you that much money, do you? It's all the other stuff that's where the money is.
It's in the safety rather than the storage.
That's it, Josh, you don't get these storage racks, I'm sorry, sir. Just,
Get paint.
No insulation.
You can get storage racks, just put them outside.
Shoot, the paint on the storage racks alone saves $12,000.
You could have a paint party, y'all could all show up and paint.
that's what I said at the beginning, I'm like, the paint will have upkeep in your new Fairview beautiful event, and we'll paint glasses.
Well,
I don't know, the box looks much better now.
that's the
I'm not painting.
Well, I mean, where I'm at a point where I motion to table this and we can explore other options.
Yeah, you let us know what you want to do then.
I can do some research. I want to go out there and look at the space. I don't know. We got to come up, in my opinion, come up with
No,
something.
anytime you wanna come out and do anything or walk it with me or do whatever, please let me know. I'll be more than happy.
Yeah.
We have a motion to table, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Your motion, your second.
Ricky made the motion, Lisa, second. Ricky made the motion.
I second it.
So we'll move to F, receive, consider, and act on an interlocal agreement between Wise County, Texas, and the cities of New Fairview, Texas, and Paradise, Texas, for supplemental law enforcement services.
So, Mayor and Council, you don't have any backup because we are not ready to discuss this item. If you recall, you already passed an interlocal agreement on this, I want to say March, February?
It was when you were out, so yes.
And the other one was, the same ILA was passed by the City of Paradise City Council. We sent it off to the county, then the attorney for Wise County decided to redline it, chop it up, and unbeknownst to the sheriff, he put it on the Wise County Commissioners Court agenda. Wise County Commissioners Court approved it, and then it was sent to us to go ahead and adopt. Our city attorneys have some issue with some of the language, but they've agreed that the risk they think is minimal. And so they're gonna go ahead and they recommended to both the city administrator in Paradise and myself to go ahead and bring it forward for council to adopt. So, all this happened while I was out of town last week, so I don't have it ready, but I'll have it ready for your next meeting, so you guys can go ahead and renew the interlocal agreement. And oh, by the way, Wise County has a policy that they don't do evergreen contracts, so we're gonna have to go through this every year. And I guess every year the attorney will have to figure out if they can work out the language, but right now it looks like the county attorney has just dug in his heels and is not wanting to address any of the issues raised by our city attorney or the city attorney from Paradise. So anyway, at the end of the day, I'll have it for you next week. You guys can adopt it. Paradise is gonna have it on their agenda next week or the week after next. And then once, since the commissioners already passed it, once the two cities pass it, it's renewed for a year and we're off and running. Okay?
We'll skip that and we'll move to mayor and council member announcements. Anybody have any announcements? I do not have any other than, our
Do you want to mention that we're hosting the dinner this month?
yes, we don't have the Wise County
The date?
Coalition meeting is here
The
I don't
17th?
have my
the
phone.
17th.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're hosting it, and then the PUA meeting is gonna be on the 10th.
Discussion.
What are we serving?
What are we serving, Susan?
All third.
All of that. And
We need to get that barbecue up there again. The boy did.
There's a new barbecue place in Rome, I don't know if it's any good.
The barbecue that Rome, or Boyd?
Not long, who was that,
That was Newark.
Aurora?
It was Newark.
Yeah, Aurora, that truck up there in North Lane?
He doesn't do it all the time. No.
But we can do that.
You were there.
I was there.
The place in Newark is really good. Local
I
crap.
don't remember.
Local craft, well, local craft will be in our celebration.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. It's in Newark, local crap.
Oh, local craft, okay, that's the other one that,
Oh,
Aurora one was done by,
That place isn't open anymore. There's a new place in there.
they got the guy out of North Lake to do it. That has the park. He doesn't cook full time anymore. His son owns the Hilltop.
That was sure good.
I like the Hilltop place. Of course, I've only been there to work security.
But I'll be here anyway.
But then TML is on the 24th, correct?
yes, sir, the TML dinner is gonna be in Corinth this year, so if you wanna go, it's no charge, just let us know, and in fact, Susan has got some items, because they've asked cities, just like we did up here in Bridgeport, to bring forward a basket for the giveaway.
Do you need to bring you guys some stuff?
Yes, please, will you get with Susan, because she's got a kind of a
I can afford this. I
patriotic,
might have got some stuff. in there.
patriotic theme.
Okay, I can drop this off.
So anything red, white, or blue would be greatly appreciated.
I figured since it was so close to the 4th, we would do like a July 4th basket.
I can bring you bags of coffee too if you want to put some.
That'd be great idea.
Any other announcements? With that, then a motion to adjourn from our regular meeting.
I moved to adjourn.
We're all looking at Pete, because he's just not paying any attention.
No. A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
He only does the one that's on the
That's right. He's supposed to go home.
Yeah, when it's time to act.
Actually, I gotta go back to work.
All those in favor say aye. Pass it down. With that, we are going to move into the work session, but we're going to take a 5-minute recess
Okay?
at 8:34.
Ken, are you there? Can you hear me?
She's here.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear. Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then, when the mayor, tees up the agenda item, we'll turn it over to you, okay?
That works.
We have the PowerPoint on the screen, so,
Okay.
just let us know when you want us to change to the next page, and we'll go ahead and change it for you, okay?
Okay, that'll work.
Is she able to see it?
You can see it whenever I have it broadcasted.
No, not really. It's a little choppy over here, so I can hear the audio, but the video kind of stops and delays.
You just talk and I'll get it. We'll be
Okay,
fine.
and I'll just tell you when I'm ready to advance to the next slide.
Okay, that works.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so give us a few minutes, Dan.
We'll start the work session at 8:40. Can I have roll call?
Ricky Jones.
Because that's
Kelly Kenna.
Stephen King.
Don Tuck? We're all here present. We have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to receive a report and hold discussion regarding the fiscal year 26-27 proposed budget.
Yes, sir, it is that time of year again. We need to start having discussions about the next fiscal year budget, 26-27. I am going to turn it over to our contract finance director, Tan Beatty. I believe all of you have met Tan, if not, the pretty face is up there on the screen. We have the PowerPoint presentation that we have created for this meeting in your packet, so if you want to follow along. If not, it's going to be up on the screen so you can see the spreadsheet information that we have prepared. And then we'll be discussing also the budget calendar. As you know, we prepare a calendar each year to let the council and the public know what all is involved, what are the dates that we're going to be having budget discussions, and then obviously leading all the way up to the date when we're going to actually adopt a tax rate, adopt the budget, do the referendum or whatever it's called, ratification of the same thing, and all of that right now is teed up for the September 8th council meeting. But in the meantime, we want to start out first and foremost with valuations, because this is a time of year where we start to get the preliminary valuations from both WISeCAD and DCAD. And so Tan is going to go over that with you. Feel free to ask any questions of her while she's here. And with that, Ken, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
All right, I guess you saved the best for last. So, good evening, Mayor and Council. For the purpose of tonight's workshop, we're going to review the property tax valuation trends and discuss how those trends may impact the city's revenue as we begin planning for the upcoming fiscal year. We will also review several current year revenue trends as well. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The city receives taxable values, as John did say, from Wise County and Denton County. So we'll start out with the Wise County valuations. So that'll be that second slide. So to start out, we'll start out talking, as you know, we're separated out into three different values. So we'll start out talking about our real property. So over the last couple of years, we've seen consistent growth. In 2024, the preliminary values were at 138.4 million. For 2025, 160.6 million. For 2026, 175.2 million. And for 2027, it's projected at 195.2 million. This steady increase reflects continual residential and commercial development within the city. For our mineral values, we've experienced a different trend. In 2024, we had 132.9 million. For 2025, 37.3 million. 2027, 38 million, and projected for 27, 46.1 million. So as you can see, there's been a significant decline between 2024 and 2025. But we are beginning to recover those minerals as we kind of discussed those last year. For personal property, we've seen a general increase over the last several years. For 2024, it's 14.7 million. 2025, 15.9 million. 2026, 17.6 million, and projected for 2027 at 16.4, while fiscal year 2027 shows a significant decrease from the prior year. Personal properties values do remain higher than they were in 2024. And if we'll go to the next slide, that just shows you a graph of how the WISE evaluations are trending or have trended over the last year, considering preliminary and final. Well, one thing I did skip over, I believe, was the total estimate. So the total estimates for Wise County, so if we can back up one slide, sorry about that. The total estimates for the values, when you look at the overall taxable values, you'll see a pattern where the final certified values are typically higher than the preliminary values received from the appraisal districts. So in fiscal year 2024, was increased from 286.1 million in preliminary values to 331.2 million. For the final certified, 2025 was 213.9 million, and that increase was to 229.8 million. In 2026, we see the increase was 231 million, again to 249 million. So based on this, we can anticipate that there may be a slight increase from preliminary to estimates, but we'll try to remain conservative in regards to that while we're maintaining and watching the growth. Next slide shows again the trend between preliminary and final throughout the years. So we'll move on to Denton County evaluations. For fiscal year 2026-27, the preliminary taxable value for Denton County is 86.9 million, which is an increase from fiscal year 2026, the final value of 65.3 million. So unlike Wise County, where the final certified values historically come in higher, um, Denton County has shown a trend where the final numbers do come in slightly lower. So in fiscal year 24, we saw a decrease from 28.3 million to 22.2 million. For fiscal year 25, we saw 69.9 million, and then down to 51.7 million. For 26, we started out at 74.9 and ended up at 65.3. This trend is likely the result of property owners protesting and the valuations being adjusted subsequently after the fact. While we, encourage a significant increase in the 2026 preliminary value, again, we'll be very cautious in forecasting our property tax revenue just based on the trend of receiving less than what the preliminary values come in as. On the next slide, same thing, you'll see the Denton County values for that. Next slide. The next slide is just the total valuations, including both Wise and the Denton County values together. The 2024 did decrease from 28.3 million to 22.2 million. Oh, I'm sorry, on the wrong side. Sorry, guys, I was on the wrong side. So for 2024, we did see 314.4 million as preliminary for 2024, and then 353.4 for final. For fiscal 25, 283.8 for preliminary and 281.5 for final. And then in 2026, 305.8 for preliminary and 314.3 for final. And 2027 preliminary will be the 344.7. Next slide does show the total valuations for Denton and Wise County, similar to the other total slides. So we'll move on to now just diving into some of the revenue figures. We'll start out with property taxes. Just for column to column, it'll be consistent throughout. As you can see, for 2023, we see black numbers, but for 2024 and 2025, we do see red, and that is just because those are unaudited figures. So the actual for property taxes from 2023 was 636,000, and the actual for 24 was 536, which we expected to see a decrease due to the mineral decrease. 2025, 638,000. And then we adopted 26 at 618. And we are estimating that we're going to collect 635,000. Next slide, which is sales tax. 2023, we had an actual of 465,000 collections. In 24, 454, 25, 571. And then in 26, we adopted at 554, and we're estimating to bring in 691. A couple of things to know about our sales tax. We did have a settlement from DKB for some sales tax that were in arrears that we received in this year. We also had a 380 agreement with Ready Mix Concrete, where we were splitting the sales tax 50-50. And so that split ended, which is why we received in more revenue than we anticipated, which is why that number is coming in significantly higher. Next slide. For franchises in 2023, actuals was 78,000, 2024, 66,000, 2025, 74,000, and we adopted our revenues at 82, and we're expected to collect 92,000. That is partially due to new franchises from Atmos and Open Infer. Court fees, moving on to court fees. In 2023, we collected 38,000. In 2024, we saw a big uptick and collected 92,000. In 2025, 110. We adopted at 126, and we're estimated to bring in 137. As you all know, we had in a local agreement with Boyd, which increased the revenue coming in, and are working on some other things as we kind of talked about the interlocal with the sheriffs and other interlocal with police departments as well. Next slide. For permit, our actual for 2023 was 332,000. 2024, 325,000. 2025, 557,000. We adopted 832, and we're projected to bring in 834. This shows significant growth within the city. Most cities' largest revenue is their property tax, followed by sales tax. And so for permits to be the city's largest revenue is showing a great area of growth right now. Other revenue for fiscal year 23, our actual was 134,000. 24, 520,000. 25, 1.4 million. We adopted 26 at 501, and we're estimating to bring in 769,000. And this is due to collections from developers for professional fees, such as plan reviews, inspector fees, and then other things that are coded here, any TML claims we've had. I know we had one for truck repair. So those are the types of revenues that are being recorded in other revenues. On this slide, it is all of our proposed budget items that we will be having for the next couple of months. I'll give a couple of minutes for y'all to kind of take a look at the calendar to see what we have in store. Each and every council meeting, we'll be doing something related to budget just to ensure that we adopt our tax rate and are providing you all with significant information to be able to make the best decisions in regards to our budget adoption. And with that, I will take any questions you all may have.
Do we need to adopt a budget in August like we did last year?
No, sir. The question was, do we need to adopt a budget in August like we did last year? The reason we did that was because September 1 is when the new law was going to take effect, and we wanted to make sure that we adopted the budget before September 1 law took effect. That's why we did it in August. Right now, we're teed up.
Now, so
Sir?
we're on the AG list now, so it doesn't matter, right? As long as most cities in Texas.
Yeah, so again, I'm sure there'll be some legal wrangling going on between now and come September, but in the meantime, we are teed up right now to go ahead and adopt our budget normally in September. Early September is when we tee it up in case for some reason we run into a snag or at the last minute council decides they want to do something, some sort of tweak in there. It gives us time to go ahead and make that and come back, because under state law, every city needs to have a budget adopted no later than September 30th.
That's correct.
But remember, you can't just tee up a budget to adopt. You have to have posting notice in the newspaper to give the public notice that you're going to adopt the tax rate, you're going to adopt the budget, you're going to adopt the tax rolls, etc. Any questions on the numbers that Tan has presented to you? So as you can see, we're trending in the positive, both in our valuations for the upcoming year compared to the current year. And we right now are trending either as predicted or higher than we thought on revenues. And again, I think that's because we're trying to be conservative with our estimates as to the amount of money we think we're going to be bringing in There's a lot of calculations that need to go into place, trust me. We don't just pull out a number, particularly as it relates to the permits or the court fees that we'll be collecting. So we've already started that process. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting today where we're already going over some of that. And so just know that this is ongoing staff discussion between now and when we get ready to actually present the proposed budget to you, I think in August.
So for the court fees, even though we lost Boyd, we're still projecting an increase?
So right now, we are projecting for next year that we might be flat, and so I'll be discussing that when I bring the municipal court budget for your discussion. I think at our next meeting, municipal court's one of the budgets we'll be talking about, because while we're gonna lose Boyd, we don't lose Boyd until September 22nd, I think to be exact, is when it ends. I'm in the process, however, of working on the ILA that I'll be bringing for the council to consider for Rome to replace Boyd and do the limited law enforcement service that Boyd currently is doing for us, which is traffic enforcement and enforcing our city ordinances.
These are estimated finalists for this fiscal year. Not next
Yes,
year.
yes.
So we're not estimating next year, this is for this year.
Yeah, and so what I'm also working on is bringing an ILA from Justin. So we might also have Justin Police Department in here doing that limited law enforcement with traffic enforcement and city ordinance. And then of course we have our deputy, which our new deputy, did Renee say he started already?
Yes, he did.
Savage?
Yes.
Yeah, so our new deputy is Deputy Savage, who will be our resident deputy, for lack of a better term, that will be splitting between us and Paradise. And our former deputy, Ham, I understand, decided not to go to Nevada. He stayed with Wise County, and in fact, he's already contacted us because he's an SRO and school's out. So the sheriff has told him, go out and do traffic enforcement, and he wants to come play in Paradise because we treat him so well. So
And New
we're going to
Fairview.
have, I'm sorry, Paradise and New Fairview, because we treat him so well. Yeah, I forgot where I'm at. So he's going to come and help us out because he enjoys working with us. So yeah, we're going to be getting this free additional assistance on traffic enforcement. What I like about Deputy Ham is he motivates the troopers. Somehow or another, he'll get 3 or 4 troopers lined up there on 287 along with him, and I mean, they're just stopping one car after the other, and the troopers are writing the citation to our court, so it's all revenue for our court.
Good.
Did that answer your question, man?
I don't know if y'all
Savage
listened
should do good. He was,
I've never met him, but I'm looking forward to it.
in the Wise County Messenger, that this is one time that we're glad that we don't have a lot of commercial property, because commercial businesses, because everybody that's like Decatur, Rome, and Boyd, and Bridgeport, they, because of the new state law, they lost hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars worth of wrong tax due to that state law on commercial property.
The Decatur city manager told us that over $1 million that the city of Decatur is losing because of this new state law.
Yeah.
You're not able to count new commercial valuations on their TNT form, Truth and Taxation.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big hit whenever I went to Denton County and did their preliminary. Yeah, everybody was talking about that,
Was
and
that-
how it's gonna affect them.
Is that an incentive for new commercial property?
No, that's just the Texas legislature doing what they do best,
Wise County as a whole has
sticking their hands.
5.4% growth in value, but lost, I forgot how many millions of dollars in that law because of the new law. It's crazy. Only, and, we were the only ones that were not affected.
Yeah, because we don't have much commercial.
Commercial.
I mean, as much as that's good for us,
Yes.
having a lot more commercial would also be better for us in the long run.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, I'm saying, thank God we don't have any,
Yes, but, no, we didn't lose that law tax.
But I'm sure if you want a data center, there's a legislator who'd be happy to talk to you about it.
You know,
There's a lot of cities that grew, like Boyd grew 8%, but still lost have a long tax of lunch.
Yeah, I mean, leave it to the state of Texas, they probably got a hefty check from these guys to do this, right?
Any questions on the calendar? Okay. All right, so I'm not sure if Tan's going to be able to join us for the next city council meeting. If she is, great. If not, I'll take that workshop. But just know that we're preparing to come now talk to you about expenditures as well as we continue to look at revenues. We're going to be talking to you about full-time equivalents, which is personnel. We're going to talk to you about salary survey that we did at the request of council. So y'all get some direction from you. At some point, we're also going to be talking about public safety. I need to meet with the fire departments, so they're not ready yet. They've asked me to bump it to July. And then we're going to need to start talking about water, wastewater, and that's something that Tan and I will probably tag team on talking to you guys, because we're going to need to actually put together, at a minimum, a water fund to start getting some of this stuff off the ground, because pretty soon here, we're going to need to start purchasing some water meters and valves and fittings and all this other stuff that we're going to need to have on hand to get ready to have Justin help us install through the agreement we'll have with them. Okay? Mayor, if there aren't any other questions, then that's all we have on this presentation. Tan, thank you very much for your patience and for your help this evening. You have a good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, that went faster than I expected. So with that, any other questions, concerns, thoughts?
We never have questions on the money coming in. We just have questions on the money.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Who seconded it? He raised his hand, but you
I
seconded
second.
it.
Okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank y'all. Meeting adjourned.
All right. Thank you, council, for your time this evening. We appreciate it.
All this chocolate.
Right? Take some home.
No. I
Otherwise,
hardly,
I'm going to have to eat it.
but I smelled it the entire meeting.